And I'll be very honest with you, Rosie, Canadians don't trust the Liberal Party of Canada right now. And I think that's because over the past couple of years in particular, we've gotten further away from the grassroots and talking about the things that Canadians care about.
We're going to bring back the power panel. We had them on pause. We heard from Donald Trump, Marika Walsh, Kate Harrison, Françoise Boivin, and Michelle Cadario. Marika, Stephen Guilbeault was asked by the National Post, do you think your endorsement helps Mark Carney? And he was kind of taken aback because the carbon tax Carney moniker. But even Stephen Guilbeault is talking now like, yeah, we got to move off the carbon tax because of the unpopularity. I mean, that's a move for that guy.
Well, you got to wonder why they were hanging on to it so long. If he's now willing to forsake it and not even look that broken up about it, why didn't he suggest that to the Prime Minister a year ago?
Well, they believe in it until you gotta go, right?
I guess, but now he's saying you could expand the industrial carbon tax instead. It was fascinating to see his response. And more broadly, that clip from Gary and Sangri is almost savage when you compare that against Freeland, who was the one leading the government's economic response in the last 4 years. So there is a real double meaning in that clip that he gave. And I think the fact that Carney is able to fight Freeland on the turf where she should be most comfortable with caucus and cabinet, where she has spent the most amount of time in the last 9 years, is quite remarkable. And I think this is the most important week for membership signups. And whether Freeland can show that she has that competitive gain with those big name Liberals, I think is something that we've yet to see. And she has 5-6 days to do it.
Right. So Michelle, look, there are caucus endorsements and then there are caucus endorsements. And just looking at it, numbers on either side of a tally, Gary Nanasangiri, tremendous organizer in the GTA. Sukh Dhaliwal, Randeep Sarai, George Chahal, Melanie Joly. The organizers of the Liberal caucus right now are overwhelmingly with Mark Carney, is my read of the situation. The ones who can raise money and move people in 20, 30, 40 ridings each. How do you view the state of the race based on where people are lining up right now?
Yeah, no, I think you've got it bang on. I think it's Carney's to lose at this point. He's got an incredible organization across the country, and I don't think that there's anybody near his level right now. And I think that, the way that they're trucking along, first ballot is probably what they're aiming for. The other thing about leadership is you're not going to not welcome any endorsement of any Liberal, certainly any cabinet minister. And so big, broad team, and very curious about Monsieur Guilbeault's new stance on the carbon tax. Welcome, very late, as Marika said, but hey, leaderships are all about change. So there you go.
Yeah, so Kate, I don't know if I should call you carbon tax Kate, because that's going around right now, but carbon tax Carney, as they like to call him, picks up the biggest defender of the carbon tax, and they're all moving away from it. I mean, this is where the political moment has gotten. So just your quick thoughts on this, because then we do have to play some more Donald Trump because he spoke about tariffs. Your quick thought on where this race is now, based on who has sided with who, and like Melanie Joly moving right before the Chrystia Freeland launch on Sunday. What are your thoughts on where we are?
But on the carbon tax, actions speak louder than words. Just because Stephen Guilbeault says he's open to a different proposal now, this is a guy who said he didn't want to build roads anymore. This is somebody who has ideologically pursued net zero to the fault of many industry. Many in Canadian industry. So he cannot be trusted on this. And I think it speaks volumes that he's throwing support behind Carney. At a macro level, it's very clear to me that the insiders have chosen their inside guy. Mark Carney cannot claim to be an outsider when all of those that were so close to Justin Trudeau are now backing him. They are not endorsements that I think Canadians will appreciate between, Stephen Guilbeault, who, again, threatened to quit government if the carbon tax was not brought in, or Sean Fraser, who was the one who got us into Canada's immigration mess. So these are not endorsements that I think Canadians will be all that pleased to see. And I think Carney should be trying to create some distance. In fact, he's embracing all of Trudeau's insiders at this very time.
Okay, I am told the Donald Trump answer on tariffs is 4 minutes. So we're going to say goodbye and go to that, but I want to get Francois's quick 30 seconds just on the Liberal leadership race and what the endorsements tell us, and the fact that the majority of cabinet ministers who have picked someone have not picked the former deputy prime minister. What does that tell us?
Well, it may be because of the way it was done, her departure and so on. But that being said, I just want to briefly talk about Stephen Guilbeault, because in Quebec, Stephen Guilbeault is an institution on environment. But today, in my book, he completely removed all credibility as an environmentalist, rightfully or wrongfully. But Kate is right. He did say if they touch, after they suspended the use of the carbon tax for a few years, he said, he was asked point blank, will you take any more touch to the carbon tax? He said, I will step down if that happens.
Right.
And what do we hear today? He's backing some guy that we don't even know what exactly he stand on. So credibility, not so strong. So I don't. I will be looking at his seat next campaign.
Yeah, I wonder if he's just done the calculus. So you got to give up one thing rather than lose everything. Who knows, right? But that can't be an easy thing for him to come to because of he has been.
Or they're not being honest. Have you considered that Mark Carney might actually just keep the carbon tax?
Well, I'm not going to accuse anyone of being a liar without evidence, right? Positions can evolve. Like we have people in this parliament running to be prime. Well, positions can evolve. I mean, look at gay marriage and look at these things and your side of the aisle, right? Like people can change. Sometimes,
GST.
Sometimes when their neck is in the noose, people have.
Nice.
Well, people. Anyway, it is where we are, and we got to leave it there because I got to go to Donald Trump. So Michelle Cadero from Responsible Bank, Kate Harrison, Marika Walsh, I appreciate it.